Hey there, welcome back to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Don't worry, Mom and Dad, I can keep this clean. We go out to the Seattle area. Man, it's amazing. Sometimes, you can drive for 30 hours in any direction in this country, and it feels like you're still in America. There's a McDonald's there. There's an AutoZone. There's a Petco. The houses look the same. Everyone's speaking the same language. Then you go to some parts of America, and it's like you're on a different planet. This is from the Seattle area. A suburb of Seattle has a cheeky sign. Ha ha ha. You'll get that pun in just a second. Instead of explaining it to you, I'm going to play the news report so you don't think I'm making this up, because it sounds like I'm making it up.
But first, our top story tonight, a controversial sign now no longer standing in Pierce County. But for days, its message stood pointing towards a man's home. The woman who put up the sign took it back into her house today. She did not want to talk to us. Thanks for joining us. I'm Elle Thomas.
And I'm Aaron Wright. KIRO 7 Samantha Lomibao spoke with the homeowner at the end of the arrow who believes this is all over a flag in his yard.
Specifically at this pride flag that he has hanging out front. Now, he tells me he's not even a part of the LGBTQ plus community himself, but he wants people to know that even a controversial sign can't bring down his support.
I was in shock. I was like, really? What are you trying to prove here?
Mark Gray couldn't believe what he was seeing when this sign was put up at his neighbor's home.
Her sign said that I like it in the butt. Really?
He was surprised by the sign with the buttocks and rainbow coloring and the words, quote, "My neighbor loves butt stuff," and an arrow that Gray believes was pointing at the pride flag in his front yard. You're not LGBTQ yourself.
No, I'm not. No, I just support him. That's all there is to it.
Still in shock, he tells me he had second thoughts at first.
I almost went and took the flag down. Then I thought, why? Why bow down to that stuff when we need to stand up, not sit down?
When we got to the home Friday evening, the sign was lying on the ground, but the owner took it away as we tried to talk to her.
Hi there, can we talk to you?
Neighbors like Mike Peterson feel like the sign shouldn't have been up at all.
Well, yeah, that's rude. In this day and age, come on, that's rude. It's uncalled for. To do something like that, that's not right. Come on, let's all try to be friends. Try to work. I mean, this is a very friendly neighborhood.
But they're standing up against any negativity.
A bully is a bully as long as you let them be a bully.
And coming together as a community.
Kind of binds us together a little better. We all have pretty much the same opinion, what's going on.
We all live in our own homes, but we're a family in here. And it just shows togetherness.
Several other neighbors shared their frustrations about the sign as well, but a lot of them are just happy that it's been taken down. Now, I did reach out to the homeowner who had the sign up, but she did not want to talk to us. In Summit View, Samantha Lomibao, KIRO 7 News.
All right, so let's just start at the beginning here. What's wrong with butt stuff? What's wrong with being told you like butt stuff? Is that an insult? I didn't know it was. I thought it wasn't an insult anymore. I mean, you're flying the flag that kind of represents that. Because the pride flag, it literally represents sexual orientation. And that orientation leads to butt stuff. So I didn't know that her sign that just spelled out, "My neighbor likes butt stuff," that's not a whole lot different than the pride flag itself. I mean, I think that's a reasonable assumption. I don't even think it's an insult. I'm sure she didn't mean it to be complimentary. But I mean, if you're okay with that, why would you find offense in it? I'm a Cowboys fan. If someone's like, "Yeah, well, you like the Cowboys. You probably root for Dak Prescott." Yeah, I do. I'm not on the Cowboys, but I do support them. I don't get it. Is it insulting or not? What percentage of men do you think who put up a rainbow flag in their front yard, what percentage of them do you actually think do like butt stuff? Probably a majority. Not a shock, right? So it's not a slander. It's accurate. And if you're so proud of gayness and the whole gay scene, so much so that you're putting up a flag, how can you find that derogatory? So you support gay folks, but not gay sex. You openly support their sexual orientation, but the actual sex part, that's out of bounds. I don't get it. I really don't. And newsflash to the snowflakey types, whenever you put a rainbow flag in your yard, you're pretty much putting up a sign that says you like butt stuff. So, and look, that's not even a gay slur. I know straight people can like butt stuff. Ladies, looking at you. It's been a long time since I was single, but there was no shortage of girls making similar requests. But I would also, and I tried to say, well, what if this happened to me? And you should think that. What if this happened to you? What if your neighbor put a sign in your yard that said you like butt stuff? Would you get offended? Would you call the news? Would you maybe go talk to the person and be like, what's this about? Before you called the news? I don't know. I would probably giggle. I'd probably make jokes like, Miss Parker, what? How did they know? Yeah, that's just a joke. I don't know. And I don't get the point that, okay, you're a straight guy, so why are you putting up the pride flag anyway? Just to let the world know that you're one of the good ones? You're not even on their team. And look, you don't have to be like anti-gay, but it makes about as much sense as Micah Parsons putting up a Philadelphia Eagles flag just to show he's one of the good Dallas Cowboys and not one of the hateful ones like the other ones that don't have the flag. I'm one of the good ones. Does he put up a straight flag? Does anybody put up a straight flag? It's just a sexual orientation that's responsible for the birth of every human being in existence in human history. But no, there's not. I mean, if there is a straight flag, I don't know about it. If there was one, I'm pretty sure no one would fly it anyway because no one's doing it. But, and I don't think I would ever fly a straight flag. Why? Because it's kind of odd to just announce your sexual preferences like that. Here's a flag. This is what I do with my junk. It's weird, right? And then what's going on with this news department? Did you hear that at the very beginning? Our top story tonight. This is your top story? You mean this goober called into the newsroom? It's like, hey, someone put up a sign that said I like butt stuff, and you didn't get laughed off the phone. I'd be like, I'm sorry, this is for news. Click. That's what should have happened. I've worked in newsrooms. I've heard the people that call in. They call in with the most trifling, trivial stuff. And they all think it's news because it's happening to them. But they didn't even get laughed out of the room. They actually sent a crew to go report on it. They actually got the people in the neighborhood. They went door to door getting everyone's opinion on it. They started their newscast with that. And then they spent 3 minutes on it. Do you know how important the first 3 minutes in the A block of any newscast? It's the most important 3 minutes of your entire show. There wasn't like a murder that day or an investigation or a shooting or a really bad car wreck. I mean, there was nothing, not a robbery, not an apartment fire. This one, a perceived offense against the pride flag is the most important story of the day. What the hell, people? And also, he's like, well, you just can't tolerate bullying like that. Who's the bully? Y'all made her take her sign down. When the news showed up, it had already been kicked over. She said it was just laying on the ground, and they showed it. It was laying flat on the ground. Someone had kicked it over. Who's the bully? Who had the news called on him? Who is scared to talk to the news? And she's right to not talk to the news. Why? Because she could have negative consequences if her face is associated with hatred, non-woke. Someone said something that wasn't nice about the pride flag. Like, she didn't even insult a person, really. Just, oh, God, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. You know, you're not being oppressed. If you're the one that can openly show your face and have the news come out and tell your side of the story in a sympathetic fashion, you are not the victim. You're the oppressor. If the person on the other side can't show their face, if they're scared to talk to the news, if they get their sign kicked over, if they have to take their sign down, if everyone else running around you in the immediate vicinity is supporting you, you're the bully. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Do you see any problem? My neighbor likes butt stuff. Is that really newsworthy? Is that really offensive? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. 800-288-9227. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. What's wrong with the sign that says my neighbor likes butt stuff? Is that really so controversial? Is that really so offensive? You got to have it taken down. The news has got to come out and report on it. Can't believe this bullying is happening in this day and age. We deserve better. Calm down. Calm down. Is it really even that big of a deal? You know, I played the guy. Let me play this real quick, too, before I get to the phone calls, because we got some good ones lined up. Remember the viral video of the guy who was at the beach and he got mad because there was another family there and they put up 2 American flags? He got all mad, right? Like, oh, what's the point of always having to say what you believe and
here
rubbing it in our
enjoying
face?
A nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around. I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA.
It's not very nice.
This is all America. We know. You didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the moon. I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash on a beach. Go yourselves.
Yeah, American flag. That is just awful. Why would you fly that? Why would you rub it in our face like that? Pride flag. Oh, no, that's great. That needs to be defended at all costs. 800-288-9227. David in Fort Worth, explain this to me. David in Fort Worth, you're on WBAP. Explain this one to me.
Yes, sir. My question is why doesn't the lady that put up the sign have the same First Amendment rights to put her sign up as the guy that put the gay flag up in his front yard?
Well, this isn't it's not a First Amendment thing. No one's trying to prosecute her or send her to jail. It's more of a cultural enforcement mechanism, you know, and the idea that she has to take her sign down and hide and can't talk to the media. You're right. That tells you all you need to know, that no, that not everyone is equal. Apparently, not all opinions are equal, and you people aren't really all that tolerant now, are you?
No, the left-wing liberals have their two-tier justice system, so we'll never win on that.
Right. So if you complain about a pride flag, you're not being tolerant. If you put up your own flag to counter it, still not being tolerant. You just can't win until you agree with them, Dave. Then you're tolerant. I think that's how it works.
Down the beach.
All right. Yeah, right. Randy in Weatherford, you're next up on WBAP. What do you think about the butt stuff sign?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that sign. In a neighborhood that I used to live in New Jersey, I moved here, thank goodness, a few years ago. They always had the signs up, hate has no home here. And then it would list out BLM, it would list out LGBTQRSTUV, and a bunch of other things that, if you're opposed to it, I guess you're full of hate. So who is the bully? They don't tolerate any other view but their own. And if you're putting up the gay flag, you're supporting it. Just like if I put up the thin blue line flag, I'm supporting the police, right? I'm telling people I support that.
Right.
So that's what they're doing.
And that's exactly where the cognitive dissonance that we all have, because, you know, as critical thinkers, you know, you start to make these connections. It's like, well, wait a second. You really? Hate has no place here? I think, you know, this reminds me of the same thing Garth Brooks did when the whole Bud Light controversy popped out with the Dylan Mulvaney thing. And someone asked him, hey, at your big bar, are y'all still going to serve Bud Light? He's like, everybody's welcome here. We don't judge anybody by who they are. We are the tolerant ones. We're just here to have a good time. Oh, sure. Randy, why don't you go show up at Garth Brooks' bar in like a Klan robe, see if you get a beer, see if they serve you. Why don't you show up in a Nazi uniform, see if you get served. You're not really tolerant. That is just a lie you throw back at the person, because now I have to defend being not tolerant. And you know what? Some things you don't need to be tolerant of. She didn't go rip down that guy's gay flag, so she was tolerant of it. She just added some more information that may or may not have been true. And on top of that, Randy, you know what the news didn't ask him? They didn't ask the guy who put up the flag in the first place? They didn't ask him. They didn't ask him if he actually liked butt stuff. I think that would have been a key part of the story. Excuse me, sir. Because, you know, if it's true, then what are you complaining about? Poor journalism all the way around. Thank you, Randy. Good points you made, sir. Yep. Justin in Killeen, you're next up on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think, sir?
Man, I want to know why we are pandering to 3 to 5% of the population. You know what I mean?
Well, for most of these people, they have close friends, they have relatives, they might even have a daddy who's gay.
8 to 10%. Why are we pandering to that, man? You know, it don't make no sense to me, except for the fact that they're trying to demasculinize humanity because we're a threat. Masculinity is a threat to them.
Well, masculinity is a threat to tyrants. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying. To them, to they, whoever they are that actually run. I
am not that much opposed to, I don't want to call it pandering, but making sure that if you're only 2% of the population, that doesn't mean you need to be run roughshod over. But it's gone the other way to where we're not pandering to them. We're voluntarily running roughshod over anybody who disagrees. And it all goes back to politics. Period. Point blank, end of story. Someone who flies an LGBT flag in front of their house is assumed to be on Team Blue, which if you're another person on Team Blue, you want to let they're not a Nazi. They're not one of the evil, hateful, white supremacist, white nationalist Trumpers. It's all a big, fat virtue signal.
When have you turned on a movie or a TV series and something is not, J or LB, whatever, alphabet in there?
Bro, we can't escape it. We can't escape it.
You can't. And it's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I did.
They act like 50 to 60% of the world is that way, and it's not.
We'll get over it. This is an ebb and a flow, and it's sort of a self.
Man, but it's the whole thing about the dudes dressing up as women going to read books for our kids and stuff. Man, that is not cool, man. That right there irritates me more than anything.
Well,
and then they just passed that. They just passed that thing in California for soliciting a minor. You get 2 days in jail or a $10,000 fine.
Yeah, the degeneracy is baked into the Team Blue cake. I mean, that they have made that a staple of their platform, no doubt. All right, coming up next. Sorry, I'm going to have to move off of this. We got a guy coming on from the Heritage Foundation to talk about this new Ronald Reagan movie that's coming out starring Dennis Quaid. They're trying to censor that now, too. We'll talk about it next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.